Why are so many people quitting YouTube? It's been happening rapidly, and I'm going to be honest with you. I want to talk about the subject because things are personally affecting me really bad too. But we're going to just go ahead and jump into the video, and then we'll talk more about that.
Months ago, I made the decision to quit.
Retire.
I'm taking a break.
It's not clickbait.
Things are changing.
I am bringing them to an end.
If I'm honest with you guys, don't want to do this anymore.
Now it's time to take a breather.
I'll be handing off the channels.
Full-time filmmaker has been acquired.
This era of polyphonic is over.
It is the correct decision.
And it's time to move on.
In the last few months, and especially since the new year, each of these channels has posted some form of goodbye video. It's been really interesting to see, and I just want to take a few minutes to talk about it. I'll be using clips from some of them throughout the episode, so make sure to show your support by watching on their channels as well. I've left links in the description. What I and a lot of others have noticed about these goodbyes is they all have a lot in common. There are a handful of factors that each of these creators mention. Work-life balance, loss of joy and creativity, and though they might not use the word, each of them mentioned some aspect of alienation. I'm not going to say, ooh, it's all capitalism, because there is more to it than that, but it does make a lot of these problems worse, as you'll see in a bit. Anyway, I think let's start with work-life balance. Take a listen.
For as much as I love you, and I love overthinking things, and I love theorizing, I don't love late nights. I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade, where I'm sitting down at dinner with my best friend and we're talking about business logistics.
If I get that feeling, you ever had that feeling when you're like, oh, I'm with family right now, but I need to get back to the office, or I should take, lunch to work, or whatever it is. I want to stop that. I want to completely eliminate that.
I can't keep this up. This is my dream job, and I have a lot of fun doing it. I know I'm incredibly lucky, but a dream job is still a job, and it's a job that keeps getting bigger and more complicated, and I am so tired. There's nothing in my life right now except work.
But in reality, it just put me in a constant state of stress and work, and now I'm always at work. My home is work. A vacation should become a vlog. Every TV show I watch and song I hear should be turned into some sort of content. Like, I shouldn't be relaxing right now, I should be making content, and it just isn't possible for me to turn that mindset off. And I realized this is not how I want to live any longer.
I don't get any satisfaction from the type of work that I do here anymore. And if you work 7 days a week, that becomes very heavy mentally. For the past 10 years of my life, there has not been a single vacation where I was not working. There has even been times where I was working on Christmas Day. And don't even get me started on New Year's Eve, because I hated it when it was getting too late, because I wanted to be fit the next day to work again.
Let me just tell you something about that. So you should be working when other people are sleeping, okay? Because y'all see me putting out videos sometimes at 3 a.m., okay? Even when I was sick, y'all remember that? When I was sick, very, very sick, I had lost the ability to smell. I lost the ability to taste. I had trouble breathing. I could not sleep. It was actually my Yumi. Funny enough, it was actually Dr. Mayumi who helped me out. She sent me a home remedy. And then in terms of the sleep, she suggested a saline rinse, and it was only after that I was finally able to sleep. So that is pretty hilarious. But that just kind of shows you how messed up, my life is when it comes to YouTube. I work 7 days a week, and I just don't stop making content. I have my Nintendo Switch, I have my Steam Deck just in proximity to me. I just picked up Persona 3 Reload yesterday, or was it this morning? I can't remember anymore, and I haven't played it. I haven't played that or any of probably the other 30 or 40 games I purchased for Steam during the spring sale. And many of the games that I already had in my library, I've never played. In fact, of all the games that I have in my library, I've got tons now. I've only maybe ever played 2 or 3. It's just that bad. I can't stop working. And I think that's how it is for a lot of YouTubers too. Like, it's hard to turn it off and it's hard to walk away. From as men, work becomes such an engraved part of our lives that it's hard to do anything else. You know, Many of you followed me over the years, and I will tell you something. You guys know from the very beginning, I used to just crunch out content. From the very moment I stepped on YouTube, there were like back in the early days, I could put out. I know it sounds insane. I swear, I feel like I've put out like 60 videos within 24, 48 hours. I know it sounds insane, like 60 videos, angry, you're out of your mind. No, I'm not. Because what happened is that back when I first started making content, I used to make shorter videos. So some of my videos used to be as short as 1 to 2 minutes. And as a result of that, I would basically just put out one video after another video after another video, and I would crunch out up to 60 videos within 24 to 48 hours. And I would do that by just not sleeping for a couple of days. And that was my lifestyle. And I very much lived that lifestyle for 10 years. I was very sick for 2 years. And as soon as I started feeling even a little bit better, not even a lot better, just a little bit better, I returned straight back to YouTube and started to crunch all over again. And it's a dangerous thing, guys, because while I like looking at this footage of Spider-Man playing, while I like looking, while this footage looks lit, this is not my footage. I'm not actually playing this game. I own this game. I have the remastered version of this game. I think this is what it is. I have Spider-Man remastered, so like the best version. I also have Miles Morales. I just picked up both of them. I have never played them, and I may never play them. It's a terrible thing where if you don't make time to play, it will destroy your life. And this is one of the things that men have to be very, very aware of. Like, if you do not make time to play, life is not about work. Life is about play. I know it sounds crazy. Now, if you spend all of your time playing, you'll never get anything done and you'll never get anywhere. All right. So it's like you spend all your time playing when you're young, you're going to end up spending all your time working when you're old, trying to make up for all the time that you were messing around. That's how most people end up doing it. Some people, like the Chads and the Tyrones of the world, they just keep messing around for their entire lives, and then have society, take accountability for their mess up. So, for example, they put litters of puppies out here in the world, and then all these step-up dads have to go and clean up their mess. That's why a lot of these passport kings are so furious, because they're basically like, we're not taking care of Chad and Tyrone's kids anymore. These men can go and they can find out where to put it. And little Poncho, little Poncho has a bullseye on him. There's people in the streets right now looking for little Poncho, okay? Because little Poncho has destroyed a lot of families. All right, little Poncho has really helped to break up the family unit. And he's done a lot of disservice to the black community. All right, he needs to take care of his kids. But it's like at this point, every time they go looking for him, as MK Fitness said, he just goes down to the flea market, gets a new ID, a new social security number. I thought he was going across the border. Nope, down to the flea market, gets a new new ID, new social security number, and he's back in business. All right. This dude doesn't even change locations. He goes right back to the same job that he's been working for all these years. One of them. All right. And he just keeps it moving just like that. Keeps it moving, But as men, we have to make time for play. Like, you have to make time, because like I can't stop working right now. It's a problem for me. And the only options that I can consider is almost, well, outside of pharmaceutical, using things like maybe CBD or a little bit of weed. And I can't use that stuff right now. I had a terrible reaction a couple of years ago to some stuff I did, and I just can't really mess with that right now, especially with everything that's going on. I have a lot of work to do, and that's again one of the big problems. I have a lot of work to do, and I just can't unwind. I can't bring myself to play video games. I can pick up my Steam Deck, and I just can't stay engaged for more than a few minutes. I don't know. Even if I had lots and lots of money, there's so many guys that are on my channel and they're millionaires. They're millionaires and they have all of this money, and it just doesn't it's not like, they're happy that they don't have to suffer, and and many of them have walked away from society, but it's like they're just basically living and that's it. And it's hard. It's like you have to hold on to your passions. If you enjoyed playing the guitar when you were a kid, you need to hold on to that. When you find out what you're into when you're growing up, and you have to be so careful. I see idiots in like this one guy keeps on saying that video games are stupid, you shouldn't play them, it's a waste of time. And that's kind of like saying, well, okay, so yeah, there's a lot of things that are a waste of time. What, laying on the beach is a waste of time. Going to the, you shouldn't be going to the club either. Basically, I can't stand these people, because life is about the pursuit of happiness, and not everything you do in life should be because it's going to make you money, or or it's going to are you going to learn some new skill. Like, this is, like I said, like, this is one of the worst things for me. Like, I spend all my time just learning new skills. YouTube is it's a full-time job, but then you never stop learning. You're just learning new skills, learning new skills, learning new skills, new techniques, and then things change over time. A lot of the work I do on YouTube is data analytics and data science, which is recognizing patterns, like figuring out how the YouTube, algorithm currently works, how it's changed, and using that information to make videos that YouTube will recommend. And sometimes you'll look at my titles and you're like, Angry, where did you get that title from? I got the title from studying the YouTube algorithm and looking for key data points to determine whether or not YouTube will actually push this video out to a specific audience. I have a course coming out for you guys that's going to teach you how to create an entire business, how to monetize, how to maximize your earnings. I do have the course. I've already built the course. The course is done, and we're going to be updating it over time. It's going to be available. You're going to be able to build yourself an entire business using this course, and because so for many of you, this will be enough to, allow you to just leave the United States and go overseas, go to the Philippines. And this, of course, will be enough to, like, once you get started, within a short period of time, you'll have a business, and you can basically scale it up however much you want to, or just keep it base, or just do the bare minimum, but you'll have enough income to live a life and be free. For me, on the other hand, I'm greedy, and I have a lot of aspirations in this world, and that's one of the hardest things. It's like I, just like knowing when to let go. There were a couple of years ago, there was a point where I had just crazy amounts of money. I had made insane amounts of money between my work on YouTube and crypto and everything I had done, and I just could not let go, and I wanted more. And that's one of the biggest problems, is when you become what they call an investing a pig. And if you don't know when to quit, if you don't know when to walk away, you end up losing a lot. And that happened to me a couple of times, you know? And it's like, no matter how much you have, you just want more. How much money would actually make me happy personally? There's no amount. And I don't want you guys to be like that. You don't need ridiculous amounts of money to be happy. There's an emptiness and a void inside of me. And what are the reasons why I make content is because it helps me to express myself, because, I'll always be angry. There's like a lot of anger within me, and talking about it and sharing this and learning from you guys, it's just a part of my personality. But I'm obsessed with YouTube. I'm obsessed with making content. I can't, it's hard to do anything else. And the only thing that's ever helped me to stop doing this was basically just smoke, using a bit of pot. And when I say a bit, I mean a lot, to the point where it was just enough to completely allow me to disengage, but I got no work done. I wasn't playing video games. I wasn't doing anything. I would just basically, smoke up, and then that was it. And then months would go by. Sometimes you'd say, "Hey, Angry, you've been gone. Like, good to see you again." Yeah, because I've been gone for like 3 or 4 months. What do you think I was doing? It's like and it's like, that's no way to that's no way to live either, where you're trying to like disengage from reality because you can't accept what's happening. For those of you that have something special, there's something that you enjoy doing, you need to hold on to it. Be grateful for it. If gaming is your thing, if hunting is your thing, if surfing, if playing guitar, if you're musical, something that brings you happiness and joy, don't listen to anyone. Don't let anyone tell you it's a waste of time, because it's so valuable that you have that. Because if you don't have that, then you're just going to spend your time like just chasing a million different things, running behind the, like always trying to find something else to do, like to keep your time to stay busy. And that it's just miserable. There's so many people, like, I have a doctor that passed away. He was a family doctor. I knew him a long time. My mother, she had been close to him. And this dude basically said that he was going to keep on working until he passed away. And he did exactly that. He kept on working until he passed away. And a lot of people are like that. A lot of doctors are like that. A lot of lawyers are like that. A lot of people, not just, and a lot of electricians, custodians, there's a lot of these people who they do these jobs their entire lives, and then they just make up their minds at some point that they're just going to keep on doing it until they pass away, because they have nothing else. There's nothing else that they would be able to do. If they are not doing it, they'd just be sitting at home, worrying and aging rapidly. Sitting on the beach would just make them too nervous. The anxiety would drive them insane. They have to keep busy. They have to do what they know how to do, because they've spent so much of their lives working that they've lost the ability to play. They've lost their dinosaur. They're not even creative anymore. They can't do anything outside of just repetition. People are like, "Oh my gosh, you're a brilliant person." Bro, it's a pattern. You're just basically repeating these things over and over. You're doing what you've been trained to do, what you've been conditioned to do over a long period of time, but you have nothing else. I had a professor once, I've talked about this before, who he was a great person, but the best conversations we ever had with him in class outside of the subject of the class was about his septic tank and him, dealing with his septic tank. Like that's when we would hear about, who he was and his life. And it was not that he couldn't share anything. He had like a daughter or daughters and so forth, but it was just, there was nothing else to him. He was such an intelligent guy. He would just keep rattling off facts and facts and facts and facts and facts. But he had trouble with communication, and all he knew how to do was, just talk about the things he knew about. And all he knew about was work. And that's it. And it's like, don't be like that. You lose so much of yourself that you can't even communicate with others effectively anymore. And you have no interest outside of interest outside of your job and what you've been doing. Like, that's horrible. And he had to have had some interest growing up as a kid. People are attracted to our rough edges, not our perfections. People can't stand perfect people. And so many people lose themselves because they lose their dinosaur. Guys, don't forget I have a channel called Angry, where I discuss gaming, anime, geek stuff, nerd stuff, and real world stuff, and whatever else I enjoy, whatever else interests me. You can find a link to it in the description of the video. Go check it out, subscribe to it. And if you want even more content like the content you're watching right now, I have a channel called Men Walking Away, where you'll find more content like this. There's a link to it in the description of the video. What do you guys think about this? Why are so many people quitting YouTube? You know what I think, but I want to hear your thoughts. So let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men Walking Away. And cheers.